In today's video, I'm of course taking photos, but also talking a little bit about random photos we take as photographers and the role they can play when it comes to direction. And if you stay conscious of this, I believe it will reward you for as long as you do photography. I'm heading over to southwest Scotland for a few nights, explore, do a bit of photography, all the good stuff. And when I say southwest Scotland, I really mean the most southwest you can possibly get. Today is day one, driving day, and given that I'm staying all the way over in Stranraer, that means I've of course got to get all the way over there so I can stop at lots of different places along the way. Some of the spots I've kind of planned in line with stuff that I've been photographing recently. Other places are just pure random for the sake of having a bit of an explore. So just having a quick coffee refuel here and a little break from driving, get back on the road and we'll see what we can find. Right, I might need to try and wake myself up a bit before I do any actual photo taking, because I've just been stuck behind lorries and tractors for a lot longer than I would have wanted to, and we all know that's probably the most boring and tiring thing in the world. But where I am stood right now, you might be able to tell from this concrete here that it's actually an old RAF runway or airbase or airfield, one of those words. And I believe it closed in 1948, which is what, 77 years ago. So this place is more than double my age. But despite its closure and its abandonment, there's actually some of the buildings and hangars and stuff are still here within the landscape, and it's now, from what it looks like, farmland. But yeah, first building here, as you can see, it looks really, really cool. Got some mountains and stuff way off in the background. And I'm actually quite happy with the sky at the minute. I feel like it's moody and detailed enough to actually really complement the subject. But what I am going to have to wait for is the sun that's above the camera, which means it will front light the building to poke out from a cloud and also illuminate this ground of corn. And shortly we're going to see that light creep through. One of the things that really sort of appealed to me about this area of Scotland, because, hang on. All right, I'm going to do a shot with it quite low. Glencoe, Isle of Skye, places like that, you've probably all seen thousands of photos from there if you are a photographer and you're immersed in that kind of space online. So that's why this place appealed to me, because yeah, it gives you an opportunity to come somewhere and take some photos that are a little bit more unique, and people are gonna perhaps see for the first time as well. So I think that's pretty cool if you can get the opportunity to go to a place like that. So let's talk closer angles of this building. I moved in for two more shots, looking to highlight some of the finer details. The first one I'm taking here really focused on that overhang that comes out of the building and the upside down L-shaped window cutout or door or whatever that would have been. Waiting for the light here was pivotal to get that nice shadow on the left hand side. Over on the other side of the building, I of course had to capture all of the ivy that has grown up the side of the building, a classic nature reclaiming its land type of image. I did also look around for a while to find a way I could compose the building higher in the frame in contrast to the first shots that I took. The best I could come up with was this image using the flattened ground here to break up the foreground, and the way in which the outer straw or grass points into the frame. I don't mind this, but I definitely prefer the shots with it lower in the frame, and this tends to be a go-to for me with subjects that sit in the middle of sparse fields, as ultimately the ground isn't that interesting anyway, and I feel it helps the building to feel smaller yet powerful within the landscape. I also just got a text back from my brother saying that this is in fact a cantilever and could have been a balcony at some point. I've framed a much wider scene up here, including these two little plants at the front and also the concrete runway, because I feel like that really adds to it when it's a wider shot. So I'm just waiting for the light to reach the building. It's currently on the runway, so I think this will be quite cool. There we go, nice and illuminated. I'm assuming based on the age and look of that building there that that was also part of the RAF base, but it's not a viable photograph right now where the sun is. The sun's directly above it and it's just making it look absolutely hideous. I bet this wasn't what you were expecting me to be taking photos of when I said I was coming to Scotland, did you? Don't worry, there'll be some beautiful landscapes later on, promise. Okay, I've been checked into the Airbnb for a couple of hours now. I've had a pizza, I'm refreshed, and now I just want to get into this tip about direction in photography, and something I feel, if you stay conscious of it at least, will reward you for as long as you do photography. And I bang on an awful lot on my channel and in my videos about the importance of taking photos you're really connected to, or having a project running, or perhaps even just creating for a gallery that's on your website. However, as much as I go on about this in my videos, not all photos we take and not all work we create has to have a profound reason or be part of a project or even have a home. Half of my images definitely don't. Half of the images I take on this particular trip definitely won't. And we can create images just because something simply caught our eye on a day out. It could be completely random, but for whatever reason, it could make us stop, it could make us ask questions, it could just make us want to take a photo of it. And that's totally fine. So the reason these random photos we might take are so important is because these are the images that will end up giving us that light bulb moment when we are searching for direction or a project or searching for something bigger to work on. They normally span from these random days out or these random images or something random that we stumble upon. And I would say personally that you are way more likely to find direction in photography or find a project for photography from a random image that you take that sparks a load of ideas and sends you down this rabbit hole of discovery than you are sitting at home scouring the internet for something unique or some kind of inspiration to come to you. And that's a great way to get started and find places to visit and find some subject matter to explore and stuff like that. And you can use that to, you know, take you off to random places to take random photos. But at the end of the day, you need to go out and take these random photos in order for the cogs to turn and for you to have that light bulb moment where you're like, yeah, this image here really connects with me. I'm going to go home and see if there's more of this in the area. Perhaps there's something I can do with this particular subject. Maybe there's a deep history rooted in it, or maybe it's just an area that you visit that you become so connected to and photograph it in a certain way that then sends you off on this avenue of dedication. To give you a simple example of this, let's say this morning I took a photo of a boat, more specifically the name of the boat. It was a detail shot of the name because I found that name funny, or it made me happy, or something like that. In the moment, I might not think much of it. It might just be a random photo that made me smile there and then. A couple of weeks later, I could be walking along again, and that image there, because it worked and it made me happy and made me smile, is going to be at the forefront of my mind, despite the fact that it was a random image that I just took. But let's say I'm wandering along a few weeks later and I find another boat name that makes me laugh, so I take that photo. And then I get home and I look at the two images side by side and I'm like, you know what, there might be something here. Maybe I should explore this. Maybe I should go hunting for funny boat names and create a project of funny boat names. Now, obviously this is a very random example, but you get what I'm saying, how a random photo I never expected to take that was just a one-off standalone image in that moment can then transpire into something much bigger. Photography projects, direction or meaning in photography, anything like that doesn't just randomly drop from the sky, but I do think it's planned luck, in the sense that if you stay consistent, if you stay curious, if you visit lots of different places and experiment, eventually something will click. So it kind of does fall from the sky, but because you've been consistent, you've been putting the work in, it's planned luck. You've been conscious that you're looking for something, you're looking for direction, you're looking for a project, whatever it may be, and you do find it in a random place at a random time. But you're not going to find it sitting at home. Alright, so I'm not gonna lie, it's way too windy for me to leave a tripod filming so that you can also see what I'm doing. I may just have to put this camera on the floor if I'm honest. But this is the scene I'm currently looking at, and there's yeah, like I thought, zero chance of a sunset because it's all the way over there, and the sky is far too grey and cloudy for it to have any form of colour, but I think it will make a really nice moody shot. So I'm working with something like this currently. I've managed to position myself in a place where the foreground has got no kind of ugly bits sticking up on the floor, probably about a fourth of a second, a fifth of a second or something like that, for a nice super crisp sharp exposure. Sky looks cool, water looks lovely and blue, and we can probably give a nice little bit of a colour with the saturation slider to some of this foreground. So I'm going to be having a timer on here, and I'm just trying to hold the tripod down. I did have my my bag hanging off the hook a bit ago, but the camera I'm recording on is now sitting on top of my bag, so I've lost my anchor. So I did actually end up refining this scene even more by coming much further over to the left, getting my tripod a bit higher, aiming down and bringing this huge rock into play, which I feel gives the scene even more drama, ruggedness and a bit more shape and flow to it as well. I took another shot bringing the coastal pathway into play a bit, with some ferns which I like, but not nearly as much as the last one. Okay, just reviewing the images up here, I think I got an image I'm actually really happy with, and if for whatever reason tomorrow there just seemed to be a miraculous sunset, then I'll probably come back and compose the same image. and hopefully get some golden light on there. But I don't think there is going to be a sunset, but we'll just see how things turn out tomorrow. I'm going to go have a little look around a bit close up to the castle and stuff like that, but I'm putting the video camera away because it's far too windy and it's just a little bit too much to keep track of. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. Next week's video will be day 2, which for me is tomorrow, but for you will be next week. And next video after this video will be day 2 in Scotland. I'm going to do a full loop around the most western peninsula and hopefully take lots of photos, have a bit more of a chill day, and bring you along for it. So if you're new to the channel, if you're watching a video for the first time, come join me. And if you're not, thank you so much for being here. I'll see you in the next one. Also, I probably look absolutely ridiculous, don't I? That's what life's about though, isn't it? This is what life's about.